you are the director of the documentary. They are
Yeah.
trying to kill us, Mr. John.
My directorial debut.
Mr. John Lewis, we're
And
so
you
proud
have
of you.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I'm proud of you too, and I'm just meeting you right now. but I'm pretty excited, man, because you have a really important message that the world needs to know, and they're gonna find out, and especially with this documentary, because I'm super excited about it, and I know a lot of others are gonna be super excited about it, and they want to know about the things that they're putting inside their body and whatnot, and then also about all of the other messages that you have within your documentary. So we're super excited. How long have you been filmmaking for?
You know, I've been working on films, but just smaller projects for at least 15 years. But it'll be my own stuff. Like when people see me post stuff on my page, like they would always be like, "Man, who did that for you?" And to be honest, I would always be like, "Oh, I got this guy that does it for me." Because if I used to tell them that, they would always want it for free. So I'd be like, "I got a guy that does it for me." So they would send me their stuff. I would edit their stuff and be like, "Hey, my guy said it only costs this much," and boom, I'd be like, because I knew, like, you know how people are. You know how people are. So I used to be like, "Oh yeah, I got a guy. I know a guy."
Yeah.
So
They want to utilize your resources, man.
Yeah.
They want the
about
homie
15
hookup.
years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
all right, real fast. My cat wants to say hi too. Come on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Say hi.
I might as well go
Come
get
on,
my
say
cat
hi.
too right now.
Say hi.
Oh, hey. How you doing there?
She always finds a way into whatever, any screening. I have to give her like 15 seconds, and then after that,
Absolutely.
say hola.
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 Yes.
That's
¿Cómo
precious.
¿Cómo estás? Oh, you shy now? Okay. Say bye-bye. Say adios.
Adios.
Yeah.
So cute.
Badass vegan.
That
That's
was one
awesome.
of my badass kids.
How did that name? How did that name come about? Badass vegan.
You know, my mom, my mom asked that question too. She's like, "Oh my God, how'd you come with the name?" I was like, "You called me badass for the first 10 years of my life, easily. Probably I was 16. I don't know why you're so shocked about it. Like my mom literally acts so surprised at my mouth now. Like I'm like, where do you think I got it from?
Yeah,
like, I got it honest.
Absolutely.
But,
I mean, we only pick up what our parents tell us. So
exactly.
You don't
So
know that
between
till
that and then
someone.
yeah, really. So, but at 44 now, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what she was talking about. Got it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, I was like, man, why is she telling me to do this? This is stupid. Now as a parent, I'm
And
like,
you're like,
hey mom, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about all that.
Totally.
You aren't so crazy. You still crazy, but you're not as crazy as I thought.
Right.
I get it now.
It's funny
But
because
I used
no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
go.
Oh, I was gonna say, so it all started. I don't know if you remember the P90X workout program, Jimmy, like back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So if you ever wanna laugh, if you go look at the commercials and the infomercials, I'm all over that. So I actually did the program and transformed, and people found out I was vegan. They were like, wait a minute, you could be vegan and be in shape. I'm like, yeah, like I didn't think it was a big deal, to be honest. I just was like,
wait a
hey,
minute, you were the guy on the P90X infomercials and commercials and everything?
Yeah, but I wasn't on the actual DVDs, just the actual like testimonials, which I actually did it. And I had a friend who knew the owner, and he was like, man, you should send me your pictures. And I have body dysmorphia like crazy. Like I could have 0% body fat, and I'll be like, nah, this ain't working. And he's like, no, man, send your pictures in. I'm like, no. So he secretly sent my pictures in without me knowing it. And I get an email from the owner, or no, from the marketing director. He's like, please tell me you have more pictures. We love them. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then when people found out I was vegan, they were like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, you're vegan and you stayed in shape? And I'm like, yeah. So after doing that for about like 2 years, I was like, coaching on the side and doing everything. I was like, wait a minute, I could turn this into a full-time career because, I was literally burning the candle at both ends. I was like trying to do the fitness thing, but had a 9 to 5, and it was a lot. And so I was like, well, I was training for marathons actually at the time. And I'm out on like a long run at midnight because living in Miami, the best time to run is like midnight because that's the coolest time.
I would imagine.
Yeah, so you don't want to go run at noon. Even in
I
December,
did that and
you
I
don't
got
want to go run
blazed.
at noon. Exactly. So I'm like, nah, and it just hit me. It was like, all right, it's time to start your business. It was like January 1st, 2010. And the first name that popped in my head was BadAssVegan, because I had a guy kind of sparked the idea again. And it was one of my YouTube videos. He's like, man, you're one badass vegan. I was like, I kind of like that.
Got a ring
And
to
so
it.
I went to GoDaddy. I mean, as soon as I got done with my run, I came to GoDaddy, typed in badassvegan.com. It was available. Bought it right then. I incorporated the name that Monday because that was like a Friday night, and then trademarked it probably like a year later. And that was it.
I mean, you have to do that.
That's how it all started.
You know how many dudes became millionaires back in the day as soon as the .com era first popped off, because they immediately went to places like GoDaddy's or whoever sells domains, and they bought up a whole bunch of domains for however much they cost. And then when places like Amazon, I don't know if Amazon did this or went through this, but I would imagine so, because that's a simple name. They probably had to buy that name off of somebody for X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
That's how Mark Cuban.
About Holly Berry, right?
Tell me.
Did you hear the story about Holly Berry? So Holly Berry, that happened to her. A guy bought the domain site, and put porn on it. And he wouldn't sell it to her until she hit the right price. And so when she finally and exactly, like this Holly Berry, she's like, I can't have porn on my name.
Right.
But he owned it. He owned it outright because he bought it. Yeah.
So scandalous.
He would not take it. Scandalous.
And it probably coincidentally came out around the time the Money Train came out. Or was that Jennifer Lopez?
Exactly. No, that was Jennifer Lopez. Lopez.
Okay, a monster. It was
which he probably had that site too. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy probably went and bought everybody's name that he could think of.
Absolutely.
Smart, but scandalous, bro. I don't know. Some people have like nerve. People have nerve that I don't even possess. You know, like it's crazy to me.
Like I can't say I've never had an idea like that, but I would never act that out. Like
That's
you know, like you know, it'd be crazy.
Thinking it, saying it, and doing it, completely different things.
Man, thankfully you went and trademarked BadAssVegan, because that could have been a porn site 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
Exactly. Get a lot of hits.
Yeah, it would get crazy hits. I mean, you know, especially these days, because you know, thankfully a lot of people are going vegan these days and switching to the better lifestyle and whatnot.
I never felt better than when I went vegan cold turkey in 2016, and I started marathon training, and I've never been in better shape in my entire life. Oh my God.
I think that's around the time we connected, actually.
I think so. Yeah, because I started looking into it like in 2012. I had moved to Eugene to Eugene, Oregon from Montana. That I lived in Montana for like 2 years. And I had my son was like 1, maybe almost 2. And I was like, at first it was I need to lose weight thing. Right. And then I saw documentaries on Netflix, like Food Inc. and like Forks Over Knives. And then I was like, oh my God, my mind was opened to this whole like world that I didn't even know existed, you know, like we're just the average person who doesn't know shit, just walks around, have no idea how their food gets on their table, right? And I saw all of that, and oh my God, I was like, I cannot, like, this is horrible. I can't believe this. I'm not contributing to this. And, you know, you vote with your dollar. So, like, I had been slowly kind of, you know, working up to it for like a couple of years. It's really hard to do when you don't know anything, when you're in a culture, you know, I'm Mexican. And so like all our gatherings revolve around like eating meat, basically, right? Like all the things, like traditional, you know, Mexicans who don't think about that shit or don't care about that shit or aren't educated about it. And so, but when I finally lived on my own and I was like, you know, that's it. I'm just gonna do it. And I went cold turkey, and I really didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I fucking tried. I lost like 15 pounds in 3 weeks. just, your body detoxing.
It flushes, yeah.
And I remember that in those 3 weeks, after that 3-week period, I could only sleep like 3 or 4 hours a night. I had so much energy. I'd go to bed at 10. I'd wake up at like 2:00 in the morning, like, okay, let's go. Like, let's fucking do this. Like,
I'm still like that, which is crazy.
It's crazy. It's insane. People don't understand that a lot of their fatigue is because of what's going on in their gut, dude. Like,
it's because their body's working so hard to work off all the shit that they don't need.
Right.
Oh, what's our cursing limit here? I don't want to make sure.
I'm a sailor. I'm the worst.
Yeah, have your
all right. I just want to make sure.
Just don't say
That's my favorite word.
Just all right.
Okay.
Fucks are off limits. Okay.
No,
fucks
totally
are never off limits. I give all the fucks all day. But and then I started marathon training, and then I fractured my foot like 2 weeks before my marathon. And that sucked. I was so devastated because, you're training for months. And what I noticed the difference too, because I was training with a friend who ate meat and whatever. So, when you're running, how a lot of times you have to spit up like mucus comes up. People.
Yeah.
I didn't get that as vegan. Like, he had to spit all the time. And I was like, I have no spit happening.
Yeah.
I've been a runner my whole life, and I know that, like, we always have to spit as a runner.
Yeah.
Like coughing up.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You gotta insert that in when you say this. Like, you got put that in notes. Put that in notes right now. You gotta, but it's funny to go along with that right now. Yeah. Like, I do it when I run just off a habit. Like, you're right. I don't have to do it. It's just off a habit now. Like, there's nothing coming up. I'm just like, oh, it's been 15 seconds. Like,
no, yeah. Like, and I noticed that as a vegan, when running, I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all. And I had way more energy than him. And he's like, how are you, like, not tired? I was like, bro, like, an hour before this run, I pounded down some, like, rice and lentils.
Exactly.
Like, that shit got me through. Like, if I wanted to make it like long distance, rice and lentils an hour before a run, I was fucking gold. 10 miles, let's go. Like,
what gets people now for me is that, because since 2012, my mentor, he taught me about, and funny thing, he didn't have a name for it then. If I would have known that this intermittent fasting thing would have became a phenomenon, him and I could have made some billions by now. We could have made, we didn't even have a name for it. So he introduced me to the whole intermittent fasting thing. But again, we didn't have a name for it. It was just, all right, we don't eat till a certain time. So for him, he would fast 23 hours a day and eat an hour a day. And for me, because of who it came from, it didn't even sound crazy. Because he passed away at 85. But when I tell you he was built like a brick at 85, like Jim Morris, if you ever look him up, like not the cigarette company or not the baseball player, Jim, like he actually competed against Arnold, Lou Ferrigno. He won like Mr. Universe, I think it was. Like, he won so many titles. He was like the first openly gay black man to win these titles. And like, he won in like the 60s when like a black man wasn't even supposed to be on the stage, much less a gay black man and all this stuff, but he was killing it. But he was the one that taught me about this. And like, when he taught me, everybody's always like, oh, did you like build up to the 1 hour a day? I was like, nah, man, because it came from like the guru. So like, if the guru told you something, you just like, if a guru told you, hey, if you invest $2 a day, in 10 years, you're going to have $1 million, you're going to invest that $2. And so for me, it was just like, all right, let's do this. So I started doing it. And like today, like I worked out, like I'm still not going to eat till probably 7. Like what I'm drinking now is like a 0 calorie. It's just nothing but, what is it? Filter water and stevia, like, and ginger, like nothing like that. So I fast throughout the day, and everybody's like, how do you work out? I'm like, because my body's just used to it now. My body is ready to go. And it was funny, I did go earlier than usual because I wanted to make sure I was ready for the podcast. But when I tell you, yes, no problem. But when I scoot over. You see, she just back there like, hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, America. But no, like I usually go a little bit later, and I'm just ready to go. Like I was tired a little bit, but as soon as I go into the gym and I touch the first weight, all that leaves. Like when I left the gym, I had more energy than when I went into the gym. And I still haven't eaten all day. No calories whatsoever. But it's like your body grows accustomed to stuff. And I try to tell people, like, you got to think about it. Back in the day, before the industrialization of the world, people weren't eating all day. They weren't having snack and breakfast and, snack of the snack and then lunch. And then, saying like, that wasn't going on. Like, and this is as a black man out of respect. And I know it's a little deep for a lot of people, but I think about it this way. I was like, when my ancestors were slaves out in the field, they weren't eating 3 square meals a day. And they were beasts. They worked all day.
Far less, yeah.
Far less. So I'm like, yo, if they can do it, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like an homage to them as well, so yeah, I think we just got so used to eating a certain way, and traditions have taken over. And like, if you look at the state of our health, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're eating enough. That's definitely not the problem. It's definitely not the problem. We're eating enough. And people always like, I would die. I'm like, it takes 3 weeks for your body to actually break down with no nutrients. I'm going for 23 hours. You can make it. It's just mental. It's so mental.
So in that 1 hour, do you consume like, what is it, like 2,000 calories or whatever?
Yeah, about
calories you're supposed to take for the day.
About 2,000. Yeah, because right now I've been really gauging my calories because I got a book cover coming up that I got to get ready for, and Sour Penguin Random House. Shout out to Penguin Random House. They actually gave this crazy guy a book deal, but
awesome.
Yeah, so like
badass.
and they allowed me to call the book BadAssVegan. So I'm like, hey, all right, if y'all want to go with it, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been burning around 3,300 calories a day, like total. My workouts are probably about 1,500. So I've been eating around 2,000. So I'm in a calorie deficit at the same time. Yeah. So yeah, within that hour, I'm able to, and this is the thing I try to tell people, I eat food that I fucking love. I'm not sitting here eating like, wheatgrass shots and like all this stuff that tastes horrible. Right. I'm still eating what I love. It's just in a calorie window.
Right.
And I'm still good. So
people get sick of foods. Like I really like when I meal prep, like I could literally eat the thing that I make for lunch every single damn day. Every day. I don't get tired of it.
That's because they're picking the wrong things. Somebody told them a long time ago that in order to be in shape, you got to eat this way, and it's got to taste nasty, and it's got to be flavorless, and it's got to be this. Like, nah. You think? I mean, they're used to looking at like the Arnold Schwarzenegger way of training and this and that, where they're eating eight pounds of chicken a day, 5 pounds of rice and this and that, and it's bland and this and that. It's like, yeah, but at the same time, back then they didn't know what they know now. As far as like, not saying Arnold didn't know what he was doing, because look at him. But at the same time, unless you literally trying to get on that stage, there's different ways to live and to train and to have the body you want.
100%.
We're not all The Rock.
Yeah, shoot, Torre Washington. I know you know Torre.
Yeah.
That's literally like one of my best friends in this world. And he eats. It's funny. A lot of people don't know this. He has an addiction to blue corn chips. But even when he's training, like he's got a show coming up soon. Shout out to T. But he'll make sure he eats his 8 blue corn chips a day. He gonna have his 8 chips. He
gonna have his serving.
He gonna have his
specifically
serving.
8.
If you ever see this guy, Jimmy, I'm telling you, like my boy is ripped 24 hours a day, 12 months a year.
I've never not seen him ripped.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like it was one summer, I want to say like 5 years ago, he took like a 4-month window of no working out just to let his body rest. And it was like, you would have never known. Like he didn't touch a weight for 4 months. And he was like, he told me he was itching to get back to it, but his body didn't change because he's been doing it for so long and so long.
And when you eat right, that's the other thing. Like when my foot was fractured, I literally was on my couch for a month and a half and I still had abs because like people don't understand, like your diet is almost all of it. Like it's the biggest component of like the weight of everything. And that's what it is. Like he took 4 months off and because he eats well and he takes
he still didn't go crazy.
Right. He's still vegan at the end of the day. He's eating the right shit, and he knows what he's doing. Like you said, he's been doing it for a long time. It's a lifestyle at this point. Yeah. And so it's easy. maintain.
This is how good he is, Jim. Like people, like he's so humble. He doesn't tell you. Like he trained Chris Hemsworth. Like he's like
that's
he's
Thor,
a
right?
beast.
That's Thor, right?
Yeah, that's Thor. And he doesn't like he doesn't. I'm like, dude, talk about that. Like help people understand how good you are. And he's like, no, it's all right. Like, it's okay. Like
I mean, it is a true talent to be able to train people and get other people's bodies right as well as yours. I mean, all of that is a real talent, and it's something that a lot of people don't possess. And especially these days, everybody doesn't go to the gym every day. It's a chore, and they don't want to go. And me specifically, I'm somebody who, I could use a lot more gym. I could use a better diet and all of those things. So it's inspiring to hear about the lifestyle others are leading that, I should most likely be leading to. And I actually went vegan at one point. We won't get into too many of the details, but
so basically you just on a break from vegan. That's all it is. That's all it is.
I believe so. And like coming into this podcast, I was starting to, because lately, like over the last like 3 months before I, was even told about potentially doing this podcast with you, I've been thinking to myself about possibly going vegan again, because I have been having days where I miss being vegan and I want to have vegan meals, or I want to skip out on eating meat and whatnot. And I live in Las Vegas, right? And Las Vegas has tons of vegan restaurants. And there's one specifically not too far from where I live. And, and I love going there. And oftentimes I'm just thinking like, man, I need to go back to vegan, but I need to do it the right way this time. I think one of the mistakes some people make when they're on their journey of going vegan is that they don't take the right vitamins and things of that sort. And I believe that was my issue, because all of the things you and Stela talk about, how you both experienced like extreme amounts of energy, I was like the opposite. I don't know if it's like a gene thing or something like within the Go ahead.
I think so too, to go along what you're saying. Is like I tell everybody that, because I used to be the anti-supplement, anti-vitamin, anti-all this, and then I started to realize, like I said, my mentor, man, he schooled me on so many things. Like I miss him, but he was just a brain. And one thing he taught me was that, if you really think about it, what we eat today doesn't have the same nutrients that our ancestors ate, thousands of years ago. The apple today doesn't have all the vitamins and minerals that it should have. So it's missing a lot of things. So yeah, like, and I'm working on my line now, but I'm calling it essentials. I'm not calling it supplements. It's like, it's just the essentials. Like, no matter if you're vegan or not, you're missing a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have the B12 and all the different things that we should be having. So we have to get that in. So, that's just something like, there's nothing you can fault yourself on that. Like, even if you were 100% plant-based, eating right from your garden in the backyard, I would still recommend making sure you get what you need. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we go in and we're like, all right, I'm vegan now, everything's going to clear up. And that's not the way it is. Right. So, yeah. Hey, I'll just come out to Vegas, man. We'll train for a week and then you'll be straight,
Man, I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
You come on down. We'll just
absolutely.
Make it
I'm only 4 hours away. I'm in San Diego. I'm a quick drive.
Yeah,
man, that would be awesome. And I could take you guys to my favorite vegan restaurant, Tacotarian.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh man, it's awesome, man. They have screaming tacos. They got this plantain mole taco, jackfruit barbacoa. Oh my god,
sounds so good.
Oh man. Like I always go to Vegination because I got a dish there. They got a BadAssVegan.
Do they really?
We're gonna have to go eat it, and we're gonna vlog it, and we're gonna show you.
I used to go there all the time. Actually, I love Vegination. Yeah.
Tori's got a dish there, and my boy Dom Thompson got a dish there too. Oh, yeah. All three of us got a dish there. And I always when I come to Vegas, I don't care what meal prep I'm on, I gotta go to Ronald's Donuts. Like I just gotta go one time.
Yeah. Ronald's Donuts, awesome. I used to go there all the time too. Oh yeah, Ronald's Donuts, man. I used to be first in line at Ronald's Donuts.
And this is how disciplined Tori is compared to like me and Dom's, or because we before everything hit, we would travel a lot. We would do our own panels together and stuff like that. Like we would all get like a 6-pack, a half dozen, whatever donuts. We'll be there for like a week. My donuts would be gone in like 2 days. Tori at the end of like the week will still have like 10 donuts left. And we're like, dude, like, but that's his discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at it like these all got to go now. Like, cause if I don't, and he's like,
Yeah.
I got a show. I got this. I got
He's
that.
like cutting like little quarters.
Yeah, he's taking a little pinch off, smelling it and then putting it back in the box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to check out Chef Kenny's. I don't know if you ever heard of that spot.
Yes. I haven't had it yet, but I've heard of it. And then of course the Wynn Hotel always got the vegan menu. Yeah.
So
Chef Kenny helped them with
going to Vegas and we're gonna go eat and
let's do it.
Things. Okay.
Are we gonna do a special episode there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're vlogging.
Well, it'll be a vlog.
Sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
I like doing that kind of stuff. We've been trying to get into vlogging too, so it's just kind of tough with her being in San Diego, being in Vegas. So
yeah.
It's all good though. Hey, so you mentioned something just a second ago about growing food in the backyard and everything, and I was looking into they're trying to kill us, and just kind of seeing what direction it was going and everything, and not to throw off the fun conversation and everything.
Yeah.
So they're trying to kill us. Like, I mean, you can't be more straightforward than what you are with the title alone, right? And
I don't want to hide it.
So we all know that, from watching all of the documentaries about what they put and pump inside of the animals that they're feeding to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know that they're putting all kinds of medications and just all kinds of chemicals that we probably shouldn't be ingesting in our body. And it's probably why a lot of us are coming down with all the illnesses that the pharmaceutical companies are making tons of money off of. But what my question is, they know a lot of people are going vegan, and I'm wondering, man, are they starting to put stuff in the vegetables as well and the fruits and things of that sort? Is the way that we should go vegan, growing food in the backyard and being more self-sustained in that space?
Even with that, they're patenting seeds and making it hard for you to be able to even grow shit that's like,
and that's the importance of the organic. I know a lot of people look at the label and oh, they're just trying to make money, which they are. It shouldn't be that much more for organic. It's like a quote I learned a long time ago. It's like, don't ask why fresh fruits and vegetables are so expensive. Ask why the other shit is so cheap. You know what I'm saying? It's like a big drug. It's like a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and I'm sorry for the crowd. I'm not trying to promote cocaine or anything. This is an example I always use.
Yeah.
If you get a kilo of cocaine and you try to sell that pure, it's gonna be more expensive. But if you if you splice it up and put the baking soda and the detergent and this and that in it, now you can sell more of it for cheaper, and it's more addictive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna last longer and this and that. So that's what they're doing. And then you're hooked on it, and now you have to think about, oh man, when I get my next fix. Like a big example I always use is that nobody, I don't care who it is watching this or between you two, nobody knows somebody that loves cranberries. Nobody knows anybody that loves. Nobody can say, oh man, my mom would down a bucket of cranberries. Nobody knows anybody that does it, but everybody knows somebody that would kill a gallon of cranberry juice. Why? Because of all the stuff that they added to it, and cranberries are like the 17th ingredient in the bottle.
Yep. That one that you get, the one that's the jar of the pure cranberry, that shit is gnarly.
Is it really bitter or what?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's bitter. Oh man.
So hard to drink.
Yeah.
So
all right. I just came up with another idea.
All right. A challenge to drink
cranberry, pure cranberry. Stella Bella, DaddyGoodz,
I have a bottle of it
vegan
in my fridge.
Challenge.
It is good gnarly.
Yeah. Oh. No, but that's what it is. So you want to look at getting, and even when you do get the organic, again, you still have to have your essentials to help you out, because you're not getting what you should be getting if it was 1,000 years ago. Now, mind you, you had a saber-tooth tiger chasing you at the same time too, but it was still more nutrients in the food back then. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something to think about.
Crazy is when you go to other countries, their fruit has seeds in it. It's so different. The US is bastardized foods hard. Yeah.
We're business first, citizen second.
Right.
We've always been
not
like
even.
that. Like,
I would argue we're not even second.
Oh, well, citizens are down the list. Yeah, citizens are down the list.
We're not at the top though.
No. Yeah, but like even Haiti doesn't allow GMO into their country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about that. Like,
a lot of the shit we consume is
much love to
in
Haiti.
Countries.
Much love to Haiti, but just think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's countries that won't even like you. Monsanto can't even come talk to them. They're like, nah, get out of the country. Like, don't even try it.
Yeah.
It's really scary when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
They control literally freaking everything.
I mean, there's this documentary that it's called like They're Trying to Kill Us. Like it's kind of crazy, but I think they're kind of spot on.
I think they're spot on too. I can't wait to see it.
I like how humble you are about the documentary. Every time I bring it up, he's like, I never heard of it before.
Nah, man, I just, I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas, man. My mom was from the South. Like, my mom picked cotton as a kid. Like, my mom will be 85 in August. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from a humble place, man. Like, I just don't know how to be that guy to be like, yo, I'm the shit. I directed a feature-length documentary that's the follow-up film to What the Health and all that. Like, Stella, we probably know each other, I think since 2012, to be honest, before you like kind of went fully vegan.
Yeah.
I've never been that guy to be like, yo, I'm badass vegan. Check me out. Like, I don't ever want to be that guy.
No,
ever.
That's what I love about you is like, you've always been like this real person. Like, you've never been like, so I followed people a long time ago before they were anybody, and then they became somebody, and then all of a sudden, like, we're not homies anymore, and like, you've never done that. And that's another thing I love about you. But you've always been a person, like an actual person. And like,
I put my flaws out there, all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the only way you help other people though too. Like, I tell people I used to be a butcher. I used to be a butcher. I used to be 315 pounds as a freshman in high school. I tell it all, man. Like, what y'all want to know? I keep some stuff personal, but for the most part, I know sharing that is helping somebody be like, oh man, I'm not the only one going through this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the only one going through, grieving or, these body weight issues or whatever it is. And I think that helps too, because there's been a lot of times people like, oh, well, you're just in shape and you've been like that your whole life. I'm like, no. Let me show you this picture.
Right.
Be back in the day. Like, sometimes people think you never walked in their shoes. And I'm like, no, I still got the shoes. I'm just trying not to put them back on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
dude, that's a quote right there.
I come up with them all the time. We got to write that down because I'll forget it.
That is a real quotable.
Get on Twitter really quick.
I know, right? I'm gonna get on there.
Put it out there.
Put the hyphen BadAssVegan.
Yeah.
People think I used to not walk in their shoes, but I still got the shoes. I'm just trying not to put them on again. BadAssVegan.
We gotta remember that. You gotta remember that. Yeah.
Everybody remember.
Write that down. Write that down.
Well, it's it's recorded, so it's there.
There you go.
It's on the internet for sure.
I feel like the awakening is upon us, and the powers that be are realizing it right now. And this is part of the reason why they're putting all these things in place to try to kill off the population. What do you guys think about that statement right there? Deep? Too deep?
Nah, I mean,
you're gonna get a shadow band, bro.
Oh man, I'm already shadow banned. Boy, it doesn't matter. I'm already in the shadows. I'm like old boy from Batman. I'm Bane. You know what I'm saying? Like you adopted the shadows. I was born in it. Like, I'm used to it now, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't shy away from none of it. Like, even before the documentary, like, I've always been like, if something's wrong, I'm gonna speak about it. If something's right, I'm gonna speak about it too. Like, it's funny. Right. I have my little trolls that only comment when they don't agree with something, but I'm always speaking like good and bad. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's my people, somebody else, like, I'm gonna call it out. I don't care what it is. But I think it's definitely an agenda to keep people at bay. And think about it. It's $1 trillion industry to make people think that they're not powerful. Right? It's $1 trillion industry.
Yep.
You need our product to be pretty. You need our product to be smart. You need our product to be healthy. You need our product to do this. You need our service to do this. Like, you can't do this by yourself. You can't do this on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you got to think about it. Like, I'm sure, there's, plant-based vegan companies making money, but they ain't the ones keeping, they're not being trillionaires off of telling you, hey man, you should be vegan to save your life. It's not, right. It's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely an agenda.
It's interesting that huge companies like Tyson Chicken, you know, bought out the Beyond Meat and, you know, wanted to get into the whole vegan world, is because they noticed that, you know, people are going in that route. But I guess in a way that's a good thing too.
They did that? I didn't know they did that. Well,
this is the thing. They didn't buy them out. They bought stock into them.
Gotcha.
So like, I just made a post about this too, talking about, you know, vegans will be so quick to be like, oh, this company got too big and they sold stock to here and there. Yeah. I can't support them anymore. But then you go look at their timeline, they're still, you know, like I can't support them because they got too big, but then they'll go support, like, they'll still eat Oreos, Fritos, Red Bull, right. Mountain Dew. I'm like, well, motherfucker, like, why wouldn't you support the vegan company that's trying to grow? Because think about it. If Tyson Chicken gets to the point where they're like, you know what, we're not going to make any more money off of selling these damn chickens. Let's just go into plant-based. Why not support that?
That's a win.
And build it up? Right. You know what I'm saying? That's a win. But people are so closed-minded. Like, don't get me wrong. It's still wrong that they're doing the chickens. But show them how, like, all right, look, the money's not going to come from killing animals anymore. The money's going to come from the plants. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, they might not go vegan themselves, but it's all about the money. If they see the money is there, they're going to go over there. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, every company, let's be honest, every company that's out there that's successful didn't get backing from 100% vegan companies. They might not have been a chicken slaughter company, but if a non-vegan invests into a vegan company, are you going to say, nah, man, don't take that money?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Take that money and do something good
for the growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wars cost money, man. Wars cost money. We at war. We at war
to
like
the
make
people
sure
who profit the most do it from both sides, aka
exactly
Tyson.
it's kind of like the tobacco companies. There's a lot of talk of them trying to get into the marijuana world and start selling marijuana.
Or think about it this way: how many tobacco companies have that whole? A lot of people didn't even know that the truth commercials back in the day. They show them every now and then. The truth commercials, guess who made those damn commercials? The tobacco company. The government made them start making those commercials. They didn't just do that on their own. The government was like, look, you got to do something to, you know, campaign against children smoking. So that's where the truth campaign come from. When they're like, the truth about smoking is tobacco is this, this, and that. You see what I'm saying? And in a sense, it's kind of crazy because they were kind of like secretly advertising in the same way. Because they can't do any advertising, you know, video wise. Mm-hmm. So they're still talking about the tobacco company at the same time. So it's
still
like
having a conversation about it. Negative publicity is still publicity.
I don't. Here's a topic right there. I don't understand how people could even smoke cigarettes in the first place. They're really gross when you think about it. Like, it's terrible.
Dude, it's people still smoking crack. It's addiction. That's
all it is. Got a point there.
It's addiction, man. Addiction. It's still people eating caviar. Think about that shit. It's fucking fish eggs. Like, think about that. I've never tried it either. Like I said, I used to be a butcher though, man. I have seen some things come across these hands, and I'm like, I'm serving it to people because I worked in a butcher style grocery store where the main focus of the grocery store was the butcher shop. So people would come in and we would do like 2-order meat orders. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want a pound of this, you want 3 pounds of that. Like, we really didn't have too much prepackaged stuff, but we would have stuff. And it's like the stuff I would like cut up and prepare for people to take home. I'm like, I don't even know why I didn't go vegan immediately, really. Right. Like, I don't know why it took me so long, but like, there's some nasty stuff out there, man. Cheese alone. Like, if you really think about the process of cheese is literally coagulated cow baby growth serum.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not even fresh milk. That shit's coagulated. It's got to sit there and mold to a certain point for you to eat it. That's what. Yeah. If people call food the actual name of what it was, people wouldn't eat that shit. Like, people get mad at plants being called, oh man, why would you call it hamburger? It's like, why would you call a dead cow hamburger? That's not the name of what that is, really.
Right.
Hey guys, hold on 1 second. Yeah, babe, I'll take cashew cheese on my sandwich. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It is.
Are you a spiritual person at all?
Very spiritual, yeah.
I'll tell you why I asked that. When I went vegan, I felt this enormous weight lifted off my shoulders, and I wasn't quite sure what it is. And a lot of people say that when you consume meat of animals, you receive the energy that they felt at the moment of butchering. And I really believe that, because me right now, there's nights where I have a nightmare, or I feel some type of like bad feeling or whatnot. And I sometimes wonder if it comes from ingesting those kind of meats and whatnot. And I don't know, man. I like the enormous weight that was lifted off my shoulder. I feel like it has a lot to do with what we're ingesting in our body. And it could really like make you feel more just lighter, all around in general.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it, man. Like, let's say the three of us, I'm just using as an example. This is not a real thing, but let's say the three of us were walking down the street together one day. One of the biggest problems is that humans don't believe that animals are smart. They don't believe that they're sentient. They don't believe that they communicate. They don't believe that they have decision-making power. They believe that they're put on this earth for us to eat, and that's all their purpose is. And they don't realize that, like, as soon as humans are wiped from the earth is gonna throw a fucking party and have like, damn, those fucking people are finally gone. They were fucking up the earth. But when I say that they don't think that they communicate, if the three of us are walking across down the street and we heard somebody scream around the corner, you think we're gonna want to go around that corner? We don't want to go around that corner. Our fight or flight is already kicked in. We're like, oh shit, our adrenaline starts rushing, our levels of like, fear is going up. That's before we can walk around the corner. So what makes you think if a cow is in the slaughterhouse and they hear their homie crying around the corner and hear either, him gagging over his own blood or getting shot in the head, you don't think they automatically kick in too?
Yeah.
And so that means, it's science. This is science. It's not even no vegan stuff. It's science that there's going to be chemicals released into that bloodstream.
When you're stressed out and when you're,
Yeah. And so we talked about this. Yeah, we talk about this in the documentary, where the people that eat meat have levels of this chemical to the rate of somebody that loses a spouse. So you're walking around every day with the stress and trauma of somebody that just lost a spouse, and you ain't even lose nobody, but you don't realize that because you're not thinking that it's related to what you're eating within the meat.
I always tell people you are literally what you eat. Like if you eat stress and like disease and all these things, that's literally what you're going to be. And they wonder why so many people suffer from anxiety and depression right now. It's like
if you cut a head of lettuce in front of another head of lettuce, the other head of lettuce is not over there screaming and scared and like, oh shit, they just cut my boy up. Oh, I'm next. Oh my God, what's going to happen?
Although I do feel guilty when one of my Venus flytraps dies. I feel like that thing is like a whole ass like thing. I just feel guilty about it. I don't know.
And this is what I try to tell people when they try to compare, like, oh, you're still killing plants.
Seen it on your shit too. People are
and this is what I say is like, you could take the seed of a plant and still create new life from that. It never ends with that. You're not killing that plant. You're not killing the lineage of that plant. You can't take the heart from a cow and try to put it into another cow and hopefully another cow grows out of that. You killed that lineage. It's done. That life and that lineage is done. And also scientifically proven, many of trees, crops, stuff like that, they used animals before, the industrialization of the world. They used animals to eat the seeds, eat whatever, and defecate the seeds in another area. And that's how they spread around, because scientifically, a tree won't grow in a certain diameter of another tree. It's just not scientifically possible. Right. So they have to be moved, and the wind is not going to blow seeds far enough. So it uses the animals to eat it, defecate it, and now another tree or another plant can grow within the diameter that's not next to the other one.
Right.
And that won't happen if we never eat the plants. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have pain receptors. They might have a sense of consciousness, but they also have a sense of consciousness to know that, like, I won't survive if I'm not eaten and spread across this earth. And that's the spiritual side of it too.
Totally.
That's super interesting. That's super.
And that's science. That's not even a vegan.
No, it is.
That's just science.
It totally is. I've actually heard that before. I've like when doing some research and stuff, and even just like when thinking going, like pollination of plants and like how like a lot of well it was probably one of those documentaries where they're talking about how like Monsanto is like suing small farms because the wind blew and like pollinated this guy's seeds, and now his seeds have some of their seed shit, and like that's how they take out all these small
and they
farms.
have a patent on
and
that
so
seed.
yeah, so now they get to like sue this fucking
How do you have
I think that was
farmer.
I think that was Cowspiracy, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out to my co-director Keegan, who made that too.
Shout out to Keegan.
Shout out.
Yeah. But yeah, like, and that's where it falls into like, wow, that's crazy, because if I have a dog and my dog comes and shits in your yard, I have to come clean that shit up. I don't own your yard now because my dog shit in your yard. Right. But basically they're saying if the wind blew my seed over into your yard and this seed starts growing in your yard, now you either gotta unplant, you gotta find out which one of these plants are my patent, or you just gotta hand over your farm. Mm-hmm. And so these small farmers don't have the money to battle Monsanto.
Yeah.
So they end up losing their farm. Really? Or they have to start growing the Monsanto in order to stay afloat.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Such fucking bullshit.
Absolutely
makes
crazy.
Me so mad.
Yeah.
Who in
that's sinister shit. It's sinister shit. It's
who
sinister.
is like a human being like looks at that and is like, well, that's okay with me.
And this is the thing. People fail to realize that like the evil characters you see in movies, that's based off of somebody. That's somebody that, like, you know what I'm saying? When you see evil characters in movies, they're like, oh, no. I've seen a motherfucker try to do this right here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. Cruella de Vil, that's not just a made-up character. It's some crazy motherfucker out there breeding dogs, trying to sell them, which I've always thought that was the weirdest shit.
So weird. Even like, as a kid, you know it's wrong. You're like, what?
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute. So you basically have two dogs, so you can breed the dogs and sell their puppies like some kind of trade.
That's pretty messed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the puppy and the dogs don't get shit for it. And when the dog dies, you're like, oh, it's cool. We'll just move that one out, put another one in, and just keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
crazy.
Messed up.
It's just messed up, man. The whole animal, using animals as like money makers is just, it's all fucked up, man. It's all fucked up.
When does it all stop, man?
When we stop it. When we stop it.
Supply and demand, yeah.
Yeah. The problem is people think, oh man, one person don't make a difference, but it's like if enough one persons add up.
That's what I tell people. That's what I tell people. I've gotten into arguments with people. They're like, oh, Stella, you're not going to change the world. I'm like, no, I'm not going to change 8 billion people. But if I touch maybe 1 or 2 people in my circle, and then those 2 people touch a couple of people in their circle, and then, it's math, bro. Like, do the fucking math. It adds up. Like, that's all. If I change one worldview, I'm winning. That's a win to me. Yeah. And then that person does it to somebody else and so forth. You know what I mean? Like,
too many non-believers in the world. People need to start believing in themselves and their own beliefs,
or just people who are too fucking lazy or don't want to change.
But again, we've been conditioned to believe that we can't do it. We've been conditioned to like, you're not big enough. It's like, no, we're all big enough. I don't care what. I don't care if you got 2 followers or 2 million. We're all big enough to make a change. You know what I'm saying? And like, sometimes you don't even have to make an announcement. Just do the shit for you.
Right.
And feel good inside. You don't have to announce everything you're doing. Like, I think, we're living in this age where everybody has to tell everybody everything about everything. Oh, wait, I went to the bathroom 5 minutes ago. You know what? I had this for lunch, and oh man, my stomach. Anybody else felt this way? Like, no, just do you for you, and it'll impact everybody.
It does.
You ever gave something to a family that was like in need, or like a homeless person on the street, and you did it and then never told anybody, and that great feeling that you had within yourself? Like,
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I've don't tell
never
people.
Filmed it. Yeah, I've never gotten that either. Like for me, because I used to work, like when I lived in Oregon, I worked mostly with unaccompanied minors, homeless, and people experiencing homelessness and all that. And And even so much so that like even my kids at a young age, anytime we pulled up off the freeway and someone's there, my kids like dig in their back. They're like, I have an apple, Mom. Like, you know, like, and I know. So like that shit's passed on to my kids like that. But like not once did I film it. Not once did, you know what I mean? Like,
and it's a catch-22. And that's the crazy part. It's a catch-22 because I think sometimes I just think you don't have to put the actual person on film. Because I think sometimes filming the act and sharing it may inspire somebody else to do it. Right. So I get that, but I think when they're like in the person's face with the camera, like, how like, you like that? So how you like that sandwich I gave you? And they're like,
it's embarrassing, probably. You know?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, But I think filming the act is not so bad, but filming the person can be bad. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get consent.
Talking about it afterwards.
Yeah, like, exactly.
I like get on there and be like, hey, you know, I just did this and I encourage y'all to do this too. Like, or what I challenge you to do this too today, kind of a thing.
Right. What I used to do is I would like film me making the sack lunches.
Right.
And then this is what I'm about to go do, but I don't film the person. You know what I'm saying? Which I will say I'm at fault. I think I have filmed a couple people at a time. This is like 10 years ago, and I was like. And I had some friends reach out like, yeah, man, like they don't probably want to be on there. I'm like, damn, you're right. Like that you're right. Like I felt like I felt I was doing it to encourage more people, but in reality, I'm using them as like a pawn to get more people to do it. No, it wasn't views. It was like to get more people to do it, but I don't have to show the person.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, excuse me.
To get more people to do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, oh, Stella tell you, man, views. Yeah,
some people do it for views though.
No, I know they do. I know they do. I do shit. I piss people off daily. So views is not.
I like that, by the way. I follow your Instagram, and I'm like, oh, he likes to troll the trolls.
Oh, dude, sure. I love it. I fucking love it.
I'm the same, by the way. I like trolling the trolls as well.
We definitely have trolls. Yeah,
I just posted, I think last week or the week before, like this guy. Because I have it set up to where I used to get a lot of spam accounts, just like talking about, oh, come check out my porn or my OnlyFans and this and that. Like, hate that shit. So I set it up to where somebody has to follow me in order to comment. I'm like, look, if you're gonna spam me, at least let me get something out of it. Now you're a follower, whatever.
Yeah.
And so this guy sent me a message, and he's like, oh, way to turn your comments off, pussy.
I know.
And so I responded, but he had to send a DM for that because he didn't follow me, so he couldn't comment on the page. So I sent it back. I was like, a beautiful morning to you, beautiful human being. I was like, thank you so much for reaching out. I was like, the reason why I have it set up to where spam accounts can't comment on my page because I would have like troll accounts or actual spam accounts. And I said, thank you also for calling me a vagina because they are resilient, powerful, and they create life. And I was like, you have a great, blessed day. He actually wrote back like, LOL, okay. Like he's like, nothing he can say.
Nothing else he could say.
Sometimes
that was a great response.
That's not customer service though. Like
exactly.
Customer service when you could like turn that shit around on them. Like, wait, I was mad as like you can't what? Like you gotta.
And I used to be bad at it. People used to get under my skin. I used to be like, fuck, like it. And then there's this quote I always remember. It says, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred from one entity to the next. So like, I've realized that like every time somebody comes to me negative and I actually take that negative energy from them and accept it, they feel better. They start laughing. They start talking more shit.
It's real.
But when you don't take it, when you don't take it and you're like, nah, bro, I'm good. Or I start blowing kissy faces and I'm sending heart emojis. They get more mad because they couldn't get that negative energy off their chest. Right. And I'm sitting over here like, this is funny. And I started realizing,
take it out on their spouse.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, you can take that shit off. Whoever want to accept it, I'm not taking that shit from you. That's yours. You keep it.
That's a good way to keep the energy
fucking
great.
Real.
Yeah,
it took a while though. Stella, I'm not gonna lie, it took a while.
Stella, what was that thing you used to say? We're not gonna call people dicks no more. We're gonna call them pussies and you said.
I said because okay, so you know how like when people are being an asshole, they're like, oh, you're being a dick, and oh, like if you're not wanting to do something, oh, you're being a pussy, and I always never understood that because I felt like, you know, like when you're like pussies are stronger and they can handle more, so like if you're not being brave, that doesn't mean you're a pussy. That's the opposite. Like that's we were like switching that.
I think that was Betty White that said, "Hey, pussies are strong.
Oh,
they can take a pounding."
She did say
She was
that.
like, "They can take a pounding and keep going."
Yeah, but like balls, like they can't handle what.
Balls are sensitive.
Yeah.
The wrong breeze come through, you're done. Like,
oh, it got me good.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? Time out.
Y'all are on the floor if like anything brushes even across you. So it's funny.
That's facts.
Yeah.
So BadAssVegan, John Lewis. When can people anticipate they're killing us to come out? Are we? Is there any ideas of any kind of dates or?
Man, it's such a waiting game, man. Gotcha. It took us 4 years to even finish this damn thing. So like, wow. I'm also at the point of like, you know what? Like, you can't rush perfection. Like, not that this is perfect, but if it took us 4 years to make it, then all right, if it takes another year, which has been like 6 or 7 months to even get like, the deal. And the funny thing is, man, like, how everybody was all about talking shit about elevating Black voices and this and that.
Right.
Like, we've actually heard, and I'm sure this will probably get me in trouble, but I really don't give a fuck. But like, we've actually heard from, networks like, oh, if this was a documentary about like a pop star, we could understand like giving you millions of dollars for this. But because it's just a documentary, like, that's why we go like low budget with it. I'm like, no, I'm like, yeah, for real. That's what you're going to tell. Like, that's what you're telling us. Even though you say we love the film, they tell us the amount of stars that have seen this film and want to be a part of it and be on board. And then they'll tell us like, oh, well, all the stars you have in it, we want you to have them promoted. It's like, so you understand the value of everybody we got in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to pay us for that value. And you're going to make
a shit ton of money off of it.
Millions on the back end.
A slap in the face.
But you want to offer us like 200. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you. Like, and my thing is too, like, yeah, I want to get the money. Yeah, I want to get it out there. But it's also bigger than just my film because it's never going to stop if everybody just keeps accepting the fucked up offers.
Right.
Like my idea is, and I'm sure somebody's going to see this, whoever, I don't even give a fuck. My idea is to get with a certain network who's probably still going to lowball the shit out of us. I understand that. But we're going to, on the back end, we're going to do like, I'm going to sell the film because they're probably going to license it. So they won't own the film. We can still do what we want to.
Right.
I'm going to sell it for everybody for $2 minimum. All you got to do is donate $2 or whatever you see fit above that. And you can download the film and it's yours. Keep it for life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll make more money off of that. And we're donating we're donating the first $1 million to those in need. So it's like, come on in. Like, everybody come on in. Show these networks like, oh, you don't want to support this shit? Well, watch what we do.
Yeah, it's like independence. Like independent artists, they can make a killing,
Make a killing.
Yeah.
Look at all these independent artists that could go on tour and they make it more than the artists
not getting screwed by the labels. Yep. And owning their shit.
That man Chris Brown bought the masters to his music.
Exactly.
That's big right there. That's big. Ownership in any whatever the content is that you create or whatever it is you do. Ownership is key to all of it, man.
I just realized this yesterday. I found this out that Ray J owns the life rights to Suge Knight. Did you know this shit?
I have no idea.
So I guess so basically like if anybody tries to like make a movie about Suge Knight or anything like this, they got to go through Ray J for that shit.
How
he bought like the Exactly. How the fuck? But
that's a random combo too.
That's like, as much as I'm a Michael Jackson fan, do you know how crazy and like shiesty he did the Beatles? Did you ever hear about that story?
I have,
yeah.
So basically, I guess Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson were having this convo about owning their rights, owning their publishing rights. And Michael's like, I own all my publishing rights, this and that. And Paul McCartney's like, oh, we don't even own ours yet. He's like, oh, you don't? That's crazy. Like 2 weeks later, he goes and buys all their fucking publishing. MJ was shiesty. MJ pulled the bubbles out the hat. He did it. Yeah, he bought the Beatles rights.
I had no idea.
Didn't he end up buying like
I feel guilty
Sony,
for laughing.
like all of Sony at one point?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he went all out, man.
So he owned the rights to like Eminem's music and whatnot from some of his earlier catalog or whatever.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. No, that's crazy.
And that's why sometimes you just can't tell your plans, man.
You
like,
can't.
No, you can't.
Not everybody's your friend. Like people
real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Oh,
like Lil Wayne said.
I totally agree.
Oh my God.
I couldn't agree more.
I'm
Go ahead, Stella.
Too, because you know how you're talking about like how, you know, a year ago and when all shit went like really crazy just with the whole George Floyd thing, and like where all these people made pledges to elevate Black voices and support Black businesses and all these things. Like, I guess my question is, like in your pursuit to like get picked up, like I know that there's a lot of like big, you know, people out there like who are, you know, Black, who own, you know, who have power. Like, why can they pick something up? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they can, but you got to think about it too. Like, a lot of what I'm talking about is actually contradictory to their lifestyle too. So it's they got the money.
But
they got the money, but they're like, yo, like, I love my bacon. And a lot of these people are sponsored by some of the people. I mean, when I tell you I'm not holding any punches in this documentary, no. Like, it's some people that's gonna be like, we just got our insurance for the film. I'm so happy because there's gonna be some people coming, like major corporations coming at us. But everything's been triple fact checked down to the last little piece, and like, so let them come. But a lot of these people,
I want to see it so bad.
A lot of people are scared. I'm ready to let it go.
I was trying to watch it earlier today, and I was like, "Oh, it's not out yet." No,
well, it was available during Tribeca.
I know, and I was trying to figure out the damn streaming, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, "Oh, I missed it."
It was available from the 19th to the 22nd. They had it up for like 3-4 days.
No, and I tried in that time frame, and I couldn't like get it. Yeah. And I was very like, man. Because I had been watching your stories. I'm like, I'm going to watch this. Like, I'm going to go on there. I don't care what I have to pay. I'm going to stream it. And I couldn't fucking get it. And I was like, man, it's in the dates. Why is this not available? Like, that was
a rare opportunity for
I'm not the best with technology.
A rare opportunity for a rare documentary. And Stella
so
always.
My little twin.
Let's see.
Hey.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hello. What's up, bud?
You know what's crazy? This dude, he just turned 3 weeks ago.
And he already looks like he's in kindergarten.
No, he's 3'7" already.
So tall. Oh my God. Holy crap.
I mean, I'm 6'6", so he kind of.
Yeah.
You're 6'6". Oh, he's gonna be tall. He's gonna be taller than you.
Yeah, no, I'm not ready for it, man. I already know, and I'm like.
He's gonna be stepping.
Yeah, exactly.
How they do. Kids are funny.
Most of the time,
at some point,
the son is usually taller than the dad. So
I'm not ready. I keep trying to mentally prepare myself, but I'm like, at 16, I'm gonna be looking up like, oh man.
My daughter just turned 14, and I'm just like, she's about to go in high school, and I can't believe it. She wears all the same clothes as me, and I'm like, how?
And I'm so used to like being the tallest person in the room. You already ran, baby. Okay. Like, you know, I'm used to being the tallest person in the room, and I'm like, I'm just not used to it. And like, my mentor is John Sally, who's in the film too.
Oh yeah, he's super tall. John Sally.
And he knows I hate it. He knows I can't stand. Like, he'll like put his arm on top of my shoulder, like lean on me, kind of thing. I'm like
how tall is he?
So that's kind of like how you do.
Like 7'1". Something like that.
Yeah, he's super tall.
Really tall, yeah.
But that's kind of like how you play, you know, with your homies too. Like
yeah.
Torre.
Oh yeah. They hate it. They hate it. So I get it. They hate it.
You just didn't like it when someone did it to you.
Doms especially hates it. Doms can't stand it. Doms like, man, stop doing it. Dom, stop doing it.
You better quit playing with me. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, back to what you're saying. Like, it's a matter of time before like people like kind of buy into it, and it's okay. Like I said, I already got a game plan. It's like, okay, y'all didn't want to do that. We got a game plan. Like, we'll use the larger network, get our name out there, and then from that point on, we're still going to donate this $1 million. We're going to get it done.
Yeah.
To get it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, for you.
And I know like people want to lowball it and this and that. And it's like, okay, cool. You know, and everybody talks all the shit about elevating Black voices. And it's funny, I was just seeing something about like, and I had talked about this before, and this is why you got to stand up and stop things. And a lot of people don't understand like generational wealth per se. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I saw a segment, they were talking about how like Central Park, for instance, Central Park used to be a community that was predominantly people of color and minorities.
Yeah.
Seneca Village. Then they start talking about all these lakes. It's like 17 to 20 lakes in America. They used to be Black-owned communities.
Yeah.
And so they came in and pillaged these communities, killed all the people, got rid of everything, and filled them up with water and turned them into lakes.
And now people just go and just enjoy their summers.
And what they're saying is what people fail to realize is that, okay, if they own these houses in 1900s, like early 1900s, 1910, whatever, imagine the generational wealth that would have been passed on year after year, this equity that is completely gone. Whereas people don't think about that. They think you're just talking shit. It's like, no, like think about what has happened and think about the people that had land back then that still is a part of that lineage and where they are right now because of the equity that is in their family. But people, they think you're just complaining and they think you're just like bitching and moaning. It's like, nah, man, like really look at the bigger picture.
Yeah. That's why it pisses me off when there's
and equality does not mean revenge. Like a lot of people think that equality, because they know how fucked up it is.
They don't want you to
believe me. If Black people, minorities, Spanish people, Native Americans, if we really wanted fucking revenge, it would have been over a long time ago.
Oh, for sure.
Let's be honest.
They don't want us to want revenge.
Yeah. and I'm not saying that's what we want. That's not what we want. Nobody's saying like, no, we want you to suffer like we suffer. Like, no, like put shit back even. Like just make it an even playing field.
Yeah. That's why it drives me crazy when people like will literally deny actual fucking evidence. Like, don't tell me this isn't happening when it's literally right here. Like, don't tell me.
Well, they like to hide history.
This ain't shit. Well,
yeah. Oh no. Wait. Let's be honest about this. They like to hide certain history because they're like, oh, stop living in the past, but let me use my Confederate flag because that's history. It's like, wait a minute, you just said stop living in the past. But you want to say that the Confederate flag, Confederate flag. Well, shit, they fucking lost and they still using it.
And they still
like that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, think about it. Like, yeah, like you can't talk about, and I'll be honest, and I'm sure Stela can say this too. There's even vegans out there that'll act like, you know, human rights aren't important, which is crazy. And I'm like, if human rights aren't important, you wouldn't be able to pick it outside of a slaughterhouse if the human rights organizations didn't picket for your rights to be able to do what you're doing.
To do that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
People don't
like it's so
intersectionality.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's a bigger picture than what people want to actually admit.
You know, I'll be somebody who will go on record and say that there was a certain part of history I had no idea about until a certain individual named Diddy went on record and told everybody about the Black Wall Street. I never knew about that.
Yeah.
That's some history that they hide right there.
And you got to think that's just one area. That's just one area. Like that's the one that they're talking about right now. But imagine how big America. I got to get out of this because I've had some people like, and I'm one of those people like if people correct me rightly, you know, in a right way and in a nice manner, I try to adjust. But if somebody comes to me as an asshole, I just like fuck you and I keep moving.
Right.
But some people have said like, you know, you got to just stop saying America. Like United States of America is all of America because you got Canada and you got Central America and all that stuff too, and Mexico.
Right.
So United States of America, just imagine how big that is. You can't tell me that Black Wall Street was the only area that was
no way
like that.
That's just like what they're like, okay, focus on this one. We don't want y'all to be looking at all the other shit we did.
Like we said, like Central Park. Did you know about Central Park, Jimmy?
No.
That's crazy. Like so Central Park was literally a community. And they said, you know what? We're not gonna we're not going to pillage these people and kick them off their land because we're going to build more houses. Nah, we like parks.
Right.
We're like a fucking park.
Fuck these people. Let's put some patch of grass here and a little sidewalk. Like
Central Park was literally a minority community. Mm-hmm. It was literally, and so like they kicked all these people out, and so they didn't give them the value of their land. Some people didn't even get paid. Period. There's one case where the guy literally got pennies on the dollar of what he should have got for his land. Yeah. And he couldn't even purchase anything once they moved him out of that land to go into that. And there's another case where they talk about like the GI Bill, where they used to talk about like, okay, if you go into the armed forces as a black man, you'll come out, you'll be able to get a house, you'll be able to do this. And they talk about the actual, this is crazy, 100 out of 67, I don't want to get the number wrong, but let's say 100 out of all of the black soldiers who went to war, 100 were only ones that got loans to get a home. 100. It was less than 100.
So they put a cap on.
With redlining and all the bullshit like that, they've literally systematically oppressed.
They still didn't approve them alone. Yeah, so they went and fought for the country. They came back. And I remember back in the day, when you were in pain, when you had shit going on, you had trauma, they just give you fucking Vicodins. They gave you fucking opioids. They gave you all kinds of stuff. So you came home addicted, fucked up, and you were taking this because you couldn't deal with what was going on over there. So now you come back home where you think the people are going to be happy that you fought for their country, came back. They're like, no. Go over there, nigga boy. We don't want to give you nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine, again, the lineage of systematic oppression? It always is going to keep going until somebody stops it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It blows my mind. They still do that shit.
It's just education, man. I think if more people were educated on all of these things, that a lot of people, would probably, want to help change things.
That's why it's not free, and that's why you don't learn it in public school. You gotta wait till you're paying for your education, and even then,
even then, you're not gonna learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, think about it. We still have a fucking Columbus Day. Think about that shit.
That's wild.
We still have Columbus Day. Like, it's been proven that this motherfucker found the wrong place at the wrong time and was like, you know what? Y'all look like Indians.
Yeah.
Like, no. This is not Indian. No, y'all look like Indians. I'm gonna call you Indians.
We're gonna call you
like,
Indians.
Fuck it. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I like all the shit you got here. How about we kill you and take your shit?
Yeah.
Like, teach us how to use it.
And then build a statue and have a holiday in my name.
No,
and the crazy part is we talk about that in the film too. I was very graced to actually be able to go to the Navajo Nation and talk to the elders there, which that like I had some conversations in the movie that were mind blowing, but that one, man, like I felt chills just being on that land, because like you can't get cameras on there. Like, you gotta remember, you go on Navajo land without being invited, you might not make it out. It's just like that's just how it is. Yeah. So to be invited there and to talk to share their story as well, and to show the plight and like how this colonized mentality affected all these people of color. It didn't matter. They didn't care. They didn't care, man. They just came in. We like your shit. Yeah, fuck you. We're taking it.
Right.
Oh, we like the way you do shit. Yeah, but fuck you. You know what? Come over to this country. Fuck your old country. We're gonna put over here. And it was just like we were all put in this one group. They don't care. They just don't care.
Wow. That is.
But happy Tuesday, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. Man. So I believe that we all encourage just everybody just do some research, get some education in your life, and learn a thing or two. And I think that that's the most important thing anybody.
And don't go into it like I've seen a lot of like allies, white allies, and they made a great point of saying like nobody's telling you to feel guilty. Nobody's telling you that you're at fault. Right. I think for some reason it's like, they think that all white people are evil. Like, no, we're not saying that. But just understand what happened and the residual effects of what's going on today. It didn't just stop then. It's still residual effects. Just like there are certain people that have benefited from that imagine what's going on now. Like we talked about the whole redlining thing. Yeah, like
and think about how you're blindly perpetuating.
Exactly. Yeah. There were instances where we were talking about the redlining or red zoning and all that stuff. And they were talking about how like these families that were able to get homes in certain neighborhoods in the 1900s, how their kids were able to go to school off of the equity from that land. But then you look at the Black, indigenous and Latin and Indian and actual Indians that came into the country, Asian, how they weren't able to do anything with that and the residual effects of that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, schools are funded by property taxes, and that's why, like,
exactly,
neighborhoods that are white neighborhoods, their kids go to schools that get actual funds, and
don't let them come over here.
Yeah, and the kids in the ghetto, like, they're living in little apartment complexes, old houses that aren't valuable as they are now. But if a fucking developer came in and gentrified that shit, all of a sudden the area has value. Like,
and we're gonna make it too expensive for you to live in,
right?
And then you're gonna have to leave.
You out of your home. Exactly.
The system is crazy, and it ain't broken. The system ain't broken.
Oh, it's working.
It's running exactly how it was designed to run.
Specifically who it was for. Yep.
They say that's a lot of what's happening right now is that these huge investment firms like BlackRock, they're coming in and they're raising the housing prices and whatnot and making it hard for the average family to go in even buy a home right now because they're getting outbid by these trillionaire companies who pretty much are trying to buy up every single property in the world because they don't want people to own anything anymore. So they're coming in and and this is something that I just got done experiencing being on the housing market and everything, is that everything is being outbid. Like whatever people are bidding, whatever they could afford on whatever the loan they were given or whatever the case may be, they're getting outbid
by up to $400,000 sometimes.
In a way that's like, wow, that's not even worth that much. Like, why would they do that? But they're trying to make it to where people just don't own anything no more because they want to control everybody in that aspect as well. And it's crazy that all of the COVID stuff just kind of happened just so conveniently for the powers that be. In the way all of that unfolded. And the way that they're just trying to control, like the corporations are trying to control, they're trying to get rid of all of the small businesses and everything. It's really crazy when you come to think of it. And it's almost like it's like the next phase and them trying to control people, like with the food and population control and everything. This is just like the next wave. I don't know.
It reminds me of like eBay. Remember back in the day, you go on eBay and you put in like, all right, I'm going to bid on this car, whatever it is. I'm going to bid on this car. But you don't realize that somebody's already come in and they put like, all right, I'm going to bid on this car too, but I'm going to put my ultimate bid $3,000 more than anybody else. So people keep coming in and bidding. They keep coming in and bidding, but you don't even realize that some rich motherfucker came in 20 minutes before you and was like, you know what? I'm going to set my bid so high that people can keep fighting over it all they want to. I'm still going to get it. I just want to see people shuffle and try to go hard for it, but I'm still going to get it at the end of the day. And that's what it is. It's just like, it's that ultimate eBay buyer just sitting back and watching people hustle and work their ass off, get all this paperwork ready, get their credit ready, get this going. And then at the end of the day, they're like, nah, man, somebody came in and they outbidded you.
They had the
you're like, dude, I put in everything I got. I put everything I got into this. And they're like, nah, that was pocket change for them. They just didn't want you to have it, pretty much.
That's crazy, man.
Maddening.
A lot of things to be said and changed in the world, and hopefully change comes, and especially after watching.
With us.
It starts with us. It starts with the documentary. They're trying to.
And it's not about a black against white thing either, too, because I want people to understand, like, if you're not a part of the 1%, you collateral damage. They don't give a fuck about you either.
I think that's the first thing that white people need to understand, is that it's not a black versus white thing. Like, don't feel threatened. Just understand that everybody needs to come together as a collective, and what's owed to the people that are owed anything like that has to take place if there's going to be equality and things like that. It's called reparations.
And reparations don't even have to be money. It's just an even playing
field. Shit right.
Just make shit right. That's like if you really found out that if I found out somebody in my family was a fucking murderer, I don't give a fuck how far back it goes. I'm disowning that bastard. I don't give a fuck. Like, he's done. He's done with me.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's like certain people can't understand, like, you're still upholding the values of somebody that you know is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let them go. Let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm dead honest, like, and people around me that know me, I don't fuck with bullshit. Like, it's people in my family, I'm talking about direct, first brother, first sister, first mother, whatever. I don't fuck with them because they fucked up people. Mm-hmm. So it's damn sure it could be a damn ancestor. They did some fucked up shit, they out. Peace, holla. I'm done. But you got people still upholding these beliefs of people that they know was a fucked up belief.
It's amazing. It's amazing that some people they'll stoop to the same levels that the people, you know,
or
in their families that did. And why would they?
Shit like that, then they think it's okay, and like there's no accountability. There's nothing like.
That's the worst. No accountability.
Change. People don't change when they don't think they're doing anything wrong, and when people are reinforcing that behavior, like.
But you still got people out there on video talking about slavery wasn't that bad. I mean, they took care of them and shit like that. You like, what?
Right.
Jeez. Well,
they
gave him a place to stay. I mean, shit.
They fed him once a week. It's fine.
And they fed him, you know, horse shit, but you know, whatever. They fed him, you know.
At least they ate. Yeah. Oh my God.
They were like part of the family. They were like Big Mama, you know, like
you know,
I've seen people
don't even realize that. People don't even realize like they use, and I'm sorry I forgot the name, and you might remember Stella, like there were instances, many instances, this was actually a norm where white people would have a baby and they would make the slave breastfeed the baby.
And those like wet nurses, like the
wet nurses, that's what it was.
That's possible, like for like somebody who didn't have a child to
like you can't breastfeed unless you've had a child.
Okay.
So, I think
once you've had one and somebody starts sucking on the teat long enough, it'll start producing again.
Supply and
demand.
So,
but many times you got to remember there was many of slaves having babies by fucking slave masters.
And being raped,
and being raped.
I mean, that's what they do to cows to continue to produce milk. Exactly. They keep them pregnant. Like, it's what they do to women so that these women.
So these white slave owners didn't even have to breastfeed on their own. They're just living back. They're just sitting back. Like, and that was one of the main reasons why a lot of slave owners didn't want to get rid of slavery, because it wasn't that they cared for the slaves and they were part of the families, because people fail to realize like these motherfuckers were smart. They were engineers, they were doctors, they were all kinds of shit that they brought over to this country. They were fucking brains. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these slave owners didn't even tie their own fucking shoes. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was down to that point. They didn't know how to fend for themselves anymore. Mm-hmm. They didn't know how to fucking cook for themselves, tie their own shoes, take care of their own kids. They didn't know how to do shit around the house. So when you got rid of slavery, you're basically saying, all right, you got to do everything for yourself now. Now what you gonna do? They're like, wait, what? Whoa, hold the fuck up. Like, hold on, wait, I gotta wipe my own ass now? Like, it was that deep. You know what I'm saying? You got a motherfucker wiping your ass for you. Mm-hmm. What?
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. That must have been the reason why the bidet was invented.
Exactly. They're like, look, man, I'm not doing this shit myself.
Oh, man.
Crazy. Yeah.
Not to mention, those are pretty great. And this
are pretty great. I mean,
man.
I've never experienced one.
Less waste. It is eco-friendly. You gotta try it.
It is eco-friendly. Good to know.
No more paper used.
And if there's ever a toilet paper shortage, you know, you're
there. You go.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You just gotta hope there's not a water shortage. Then
exactly.
There is.
That's why you gotta have a reservoir on your land.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
very important.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Cypher and Chronicle slide through,
I'm so
Mr.
happy.
BadAssVegan.
Sure.
We are
sure, man. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm sure I speak for Stella, but we're super honored to have you on here.
Totally. Such like a big deal. This is probably like a highlight of my life.
Well, now we just got to plan the Vegas trip.
We got to plan the Vegas trip. Totally.
We're good.
Let's go vlog eating.
Get the vlog done. Get a couple workouts in.
I would love to do it. Yeah, man. Help me out, man. I gotta get like the badass vegan.
Get it right.
And I'm gonna change my name to Badass Jimmy. No, I'm playing.
There you go.
Sweet, man.
But let everybody know where they can find you if they don't already follow you.
I'm under BadAssVegan on pretty much everything from, I think I even got a Pinterest somewhere out there, like Instagram, Instagram, Twitter.
Like somebody else.
No, and that's the thing. I tell people, like, I create these accounts just so somebody else doesn't come in.
I do it too.
Yeah, it's not like I really want to use Pinterest. You know, occasionally I might go there. I'll be honest. I go in there and maybe get like an outfit idea or something like that from time to time.
For sure.
But yeah, like Pinterest, Twitter, Snapchat, Google, Chrome, all that. I'm under BadAssVegan on all that. Twitter, my Twitter account is suspended right now, but you know, give it a year, it'll be back.
Give him his account back,
right?
Jack, give him the account back.
Get him his.
And you know what? I suspended it. This is the crazy thing. There was a video like 3 years ago about these. It was these two kids, and they would walk around neighborhoods with super soakers, and it was just like this friendly thing to like, you know, like get people to like interact and be friendly and laugh. And so they would slide a super soaker to a total stranger, and they would pick theirs up, and then they would spray each other. But they had like, it was the music playing in the background, like. It was like Pharrell, I'm Happy, and some other stuff. It went back 3 years on my account and flagged that video saying it was like intellectual property or some shit like that. And they just froze my account. And I'm like, fuck that, because the people that originally posted the video is still up. I'm like, really? Like, it's just crazy. But I mean, like, I'm shadow banned on all kinds of shit. Like, it doesn't even.
That's what happens when you're a truth teller, when you're out here.
Yep.
Laying everybody's shit bare.
That's why he's got a Patreon too, right?
I don't. I should. I probably should, but I don't. Yeah.
Hey, go make the Patreon BadAssVegan.
And then sell it to me.
That's so funny.
Man, he's gonna do it right
and then everybody keep an eye out for this documentary when it drops, because we're definitely gonna want to watch it.
I know. I'm excited to watch it. Can't wait.
I appreciate it.
Very excited.
I mean, I'll say, you know, maybe there might be a private screening if it's not out yet, if we happen to be in the same area.
Save me. Put me on the list. I'm there.
Yeah. A little private screening in Vegas. That's all I'm saying.
Hey.
I'm just saying, let's do it. I'm here.
I ain't gonna tell nobody else. You know?
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. Just want to talk to you after we stop recording. And
for sure.
We appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next episode.
Peace.
Side friends slide through.